Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Let's go and take on a Haid Knight who's been giving me a hard time. The reason I'm hollow, the last time you seen me I wasn't, is because I've been trying to parry this guy and I've been doing so unsuccessfully. I'm finding it really difficult to parry him, not getting the timing right at all, and I'm using the mod from the Dark Souls 2 Nexus, Fleshy Hollows it's called. I'll try and remember to put a link to it, and basically it slows down your degradation from going from human to hollow, and it looks a lot better in the green flesh. So we've got a Haid Knight in the Lost Bastille. This one's a Spiel wielder, the Haid Spear, and yeah, I just cannot parry him for the love of anything. And as you'll see, I didn't want to backstab him. I don't want to do this cheaply, I want to try and take him out properly. And I say that while I stab him in the back while he's getting up. But he has got some moves, this guy. He's very quick. And he's got a lot of reach, obviously, with his spear. And I had a really hard time against this guy. In previous playthroughs on the PlayStation, I haven't had as much trouble with him. I don't know whether, normally I don't have as much adaptability at this stage either, so it can't be iframes that was helping me before. It might just have been I was using the 100% Dragon Lake shield to block, 100% block. I kind of skipped past it, but he's actually got arrows in his helmet if you look at him closely. So we picked up his spear, which has lightning damage, and the composition of the alloy of these spears remains a mystery, but in Dragon Lake they attempt to imitate the Braden steel or whatever it says. It's got I like the sound effect, and it's just a kind of normal speary kind of moveset, and that's a jump attack. Never used it, so I don't know whether it's any good or not. But what I do know is that, or what I'm thinking about, is the fact that why do these Haid Knights look so despondent? You can fall down here, and there's an item to pick up round here. But yeah, why do they look so despondent? Why do they look so lost? Is it because they're not supposed to be here, and they don't know how to get home? That's how you normally progress through this level, but we're not going to go down there just now. We're actually going to go back to things betwixt, because we've got some small stones that we can exchange with the crows. So I just decided to come here and do this first before we went through our part of the Bastille. But yeah, what the Haid Knights, why are they here? Why are they in Forest of Fallen Giants? Why are they in Bastille? So we're going to give them some small stones, and be careful when you go to select the stone. Don't hit the button twice like I did there, and you waste the stone. It's leave, that's the one you choose. It's not discard, it's leave. And I find that's not a very great item. I find the drops quite mean in Dark Souls 2. Very rarely do you get anything of value. I think I've got a Titanite slab once. The rest is things like soul items and whatnot. So once you've done that, come back to where we fought the Pursuer, because we're going to take the alternative route to Lost Bastille. Got a fright there, sorry, it's the phone in the background vibrating. But yeah, come back here. Because this is the alternative way to the Lost Bastille. And we get picked up by the Pursuer's bird. I thought I read somewhere it was a crow that you used, but I don't think that didn't look like a crow to me. So this is This is probably the way most people will reach the Bastille first, because, you know, they'll make their way through the forest of fallen giants and then take on the pursuer and end up here. And you can see that there's a royal swordsman down there, and you can see that there was a black barrel. That black barrel contains gunpowder, and I didn't expect that to happen. Normally what happens is you come down through the window frame, or through the arch, he's still there, you take him out and you knock the barrel off and it lands on the ground, and there's like about 4 or 5 dogs at the bottom there, and that's how you kill them. Or that's an easy way to kill them. But he must have obviously spotted me, and he decided to come and chase after me. And his AI path took him and bumped him against the barrel. The royal swordsman used like a flamberge sword. Be careful when you come out here, that's what the soapstone sign says. And I spoke over that there. I actually meant to be quiet there because you could hear the whispering again. My fault, sorry. If you want to go back, you might be able to hear it over me talking. It was at the part where just before I opened the door. So we get the antiquated key and a covetous silver serpent ring, but we've already got the silver serpent ring +1, so we're not going to use that. Antiquated key, I don't think it has any interest in lore, no it doesn't. And we've seen the lore for that before. Should have cut that out, my apologies. But yeah, this room, it's not really challenging, but if you come the other way, actually, if you come this way I suppose it might be. So this is Undead Jailer, and they're quite ugly looking beasts. They look like kind of body, what's the word I'm looking for? They just basically look like strange, like overgrown mummies. That's the simplest way to say it. And you can see I'm not really, it took me more hits than it should have there to kill him, and that's because I haven't been upgrading my weapons. I'm just using the standard bastard sword, and I also didn't have enough stamina to take him out as quickly as I wanted. So that's a hint that I need to go and upgrade weapons and or put points into endurance. So a familiar face here, Lucatiel.
I thought that might be you. You haven't changed a bit, have you? The longer I am here, the more madness I discover. A wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory.
But this is a prison, so...
What could have caused such degradation?
It's a strange comment, I don't really...
Ah, yes. I have not thanked you for humouring me the other day.
She really lacks confidence. Human effigy.
Of course, I have no idea what it is.
So you've never used the human effigy to restore your humanity and get rid of the curse or whatever?
Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies and constantly at war. There is only one way up in Mirror. Join the Order and prove yourself in battle.
A reiteration of what she said before
My
about
family had little fortune.
you have to fight to make your way.
I had to
in
carve
Mirror.
out a piece of the world for myself. With two things. My sword and my loyalty to my lord. I was raised to wield a sword from birth. Life was hard, but I never gave it a second thought. I had swift success on the battlefield and quickly attained respectable stature. And then I came here to... Have you heard of the undead?
Again, her memory's not functioning
These cruel
properly.
souls affected by the curse. An undead
And that's a
gradually
repetitive
loses
theme
his
in the game.
humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others. And a hollow can never be human again.
Well, you can restore your humanity with an effigy.
Only with the help of the souls found here.
And that's what she just gave us there a moment ago.
Assuming, of course, that the legends are true. I can only hope that they are.
And if you look at her face, you can see she's afflicted by the undead curse.
I'm sorry to burden you with talk of my fate. I suppose I've grown weary these days. I'm sorry I suppose I've grown weary.
So we'll catch up with Lucatiel a bit later on. Their weapon can reach really far. I find that when you've got lots of agility, you can kind of roll away from their attacks or roll through their attacks. They have a chance to drop their weapon, I think, and what else? They definitely drop something else. Oh yeah, that's right, they can use pyromancy as well, but you usually don't see that until a bit further on in the Bastille. So you come up here, and then there's a ladders off to the left there, you can see, we'll go up there. They also drop one of the herbs as well. I'm not sure, it's not amber herb. Wilted herb or twilight herb or something like that. So once we've picked that shard up, and make sure you pick these large shards up. I know it's unlikely you wouldn't, but make sure you do because they're hard to find at this point in the game. And I make a mistake here. You should really try and pull this guy over to you, and there's a reason for that that'll become apparent in a moment. But I go up too close to him, and that happens. We actually needed that barrel with gunpowder in it. We needed it to open a wall, so we'll need to come back here. You can see the big crack in the wall. It gives you a hint that you can use the barrel, and throwing fire bombs at it doesn't do the trick. So we'll come back here. So what I did was, in between times, I went away and upgraded my weapon. And this is a good thing to do as well. See if you come up behind them, get a couple of hits in, and then wait until they turn round, because it allows you to rebuild some of your stamina. Just handy wee tip. And I'm using a +4 mace, and this is the weapon I've kind of settled on for the time being. I used it with a build that I tried in the PlayStation. It wasn't my main melee build, it was a different kind of build, kind of magey type, and the hammer worked very well, or the hammer class weapons worked very well, so I thought I would try it with this guy and see how well it works with him. And as you can see, it took me much less swings and less stamina to kill them. I think it was only like 3 or 4 hits. That was one-handed, so I got 4, and I was a bit careless at the end there, but definitely a much more powerful weapon than the base bastard sword that I was using. We're going to pick that item up later. Just remember that's up there. It's quite a hard item. I wasn't quite sure how to get to it, but so you knock the barrel and it rolls down and it blows the wall open. And the antiquated key doesn't open the door that's behind us, that door there. And usually by this point what I do is I actually take all those dogs out. I kind of set the bonfire and keep, respawning them till they die. Because after about 10 times, the enemies disappear until you use a bonfire ascetic, or you get to New Game Plus. So make sure you open all these treasure chests. And this is a blacksmith, kind of an odd fellow. His name's Macduff. Seems to be kind of a wee bit detached from reality. I don't know if he was locked in here, which might be the case, because why would he not leave his door open if maybe he closed it because of dogs? But we have to go and pick a key up to open that door.
We've got a wild one here.
If you don't use the barrow to blow the wall up. So I wonder if he's been locked in here and that's why he's a bit weird, because he's been extreme cabin fever, locked in here on his own for a long time.
Dear flame, how bright.
And all he's had to occupy him is his wee flame to the right there, or to our left, his right.
I ought to fetch a new ember. Flame.
And you can see he's sitting on a chest, so to get him off that chest, you don't hit him, you go and light that sconce. So, light the torch, come back in, light the sconce, come back out, and then all you need to do is fast travel away from here and back. You don't even have to fast travel actually, I think you just sit at the bonfire. Yeah. And this guy becomes very useful later on in the game.
I ought to fetch a
Once you get him his ember, he becomes very useful.
flame.
So we get the craftsman's hammer and the first twinkling titanite of the game. And the craftsman hammer is actually really good. Look, it does more or less the same base damage as my +4 mace, and it has other benefits too. I think it's lighter as well actually, but the problem is it costs a lot to upgrade it. It requires twinkling titanite to upgrade, and it's just not worth it, because the fully upgraded craftsman's hammer is not much different to a fully upgraded mace, and it's cheaper to upgrade a mace. You can go down there on the left to take an enemy out, but or you can go down there to the right. There's 3 ways basically down to the area we're going to, but I would recommend just coming this way. That's one thing that does annoy me about the mace, the fact it can whiff over enemies, and the reach is quite short. You can hit these support beams to knock the guy down, and it's one of these undead jailers. And he very kindly knocked that column down for us, so we get the item that was resting on it. These guys remind me of Mumra as well. Remember I mentioned Mumra in the Knight Artorias video? With the bandages and whatnot. So come round here, there's a treasure chest. And we get another shard for the Estus flask, which is good. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it looks like there might be a Demon's Souls 2 coming out for the PlayStation 4. There was information on NeoGAF about a leak about the next title that Miyagazi was working on. Miyazaki. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, the guy that created Dark Souls 1. The creative director. He wasn't responsible for this game. Apparently he hadn't... well, nobody really knew what he was up to, but it looks like he's been creating Demon's Souls 2 for the PlayStation 4. It might not be Demon's Souls 2, but it looks like a Souls game anyway. And it's I think it's got a working title name, which is
I ought to fetch it.
The working title apparently for this originally was Dark Race. I can't remember, the name escapes me. It's something like Dark. Oh, what is it? That's really annoying. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What matters is it looks like there's going to be a really good game coming from Software for the PlayStation 4. One of the characters has a shotgun in it, it looks like. So, and it looks like kind of Victorian times, or medieval times. Anyway, this is not medieval times, sorry, that's a lie. That's the Royal Swordsman. We encountered one of them before. These guys have quite high defences, their armour's pretty good, and they're tough in numbers. These guys in here are a major pain in the bum. Make sure you kill them as quickly as possible. I don't know if you noticed, but their chests are either brown or black. And what happens is these guys have an area of effect attack. They throw themselves in front, or they scream and then throw themselves in front of you. And they cause massive explosive damage. This is a flame butterfly. It allows you to crack open a torch without going to the bonfire. So we'll light the sconce here. But yeah, those undead citizens, I think they are, undead citizens. Take them out as quickly as possible. Ranged combat is best. And you can use alluring skulls, that's why we picked one up there earlier. You can use alluring skulls to distract them while you throw firebombs, or firebombs are good against them. The reason I've changed to the thingy, the halberd, is because of these dogs. You can also throw a firebomb at them, but yeah, these dogs are annoying, so the spinning attack is basically deadly against them. You can see that there's some gunpowder barrels there, so you can throw a firebomb at them and take all the dogs out at once. There's another dog when you come out here, so be careful. And you know that you can hit these stones, but I would strongly advise against it unless you want a really tough fight, because what happens is there's nothing down there. It's a trap, it's an ambush, and it's those undead citizens, and yeah, they're honestly, it's a scary fight because they're so deadly, or they're so they are deadly in fact, in numbers. So I thought I would maybe be able to detonate the barrel that was next to him with gunpowder, but nope. And these guys were loyal to King Vendrick, and they're obviously here to reinforce the prison, but obviously their role is unnecessary now that the prison's fallen into disrepair and has been abandoned, and its former role is basically totally defunct now. So watch out when you go in there, you'll draw an enemy. And that didn't work very well at all. And actually, I'm glad it didn't work, because I discovered something here that I was unaware of. And I didn't know that room existed, that secret room there. So I'm glad that I didn't get him with the fireball. Yeah, those undead citizens, another thing, you want to take them out of range. I probably didn't mention that when I was saying about the firebombs. But yeah, using your crossbow or your bow is definitely a good idea if you can get them. So like I say, I'm glad I discovered this accidentally, because we get the Archdrake robes. Little's known about the Archdrake sect and its ancient rituals, but it said they're well-honed miracles and unwavering blah blah blah. I always don't give myself enough time to read those things. But I had seen people running around with this interesting armour piece on. And that's a shield. So it mentions Lindelt, which is an area, I guess. And shield looks interesting as well. I think I had decent resistances to elemental damage. So I'm definitely going to keep that in my possession. So I went out here initially to get a torch, but then I was thinking about it, and it took me a long time to actually pluck up the courage to take these guys on. And I was lucky I killed 2 of them at once there, and I got the third one before he even had time to fall off the platform. And we get the Wanderer's armour set. But I was very relieved there, because I expected honestly to probably die there. And I should have set up an alluring skull on my bar, so that I could have thrown it in the ground and probably used firebombs to take them out, but the halberd came through for me there. So originally I was just coming back here to light a torch so we could go through into this room. So this is the way to progress through the level. You just go up the ladders and then fall off and then come through the tunnel. And it's an interesting room, this one. There's a few items to be picked up in here, and we've also got a Pharaoh's Stone. And I don't know who this statue is of. It looks like Allfather Lloyd from Dark Souls 1, that's who it reminds me of. And you'll remember we've seen his picture or graffiti or whatever you want to call it. Bone staff, that's for a sorcerer obviously. And apparently that becomes very powerful after you pick up a certain dark magic. But yeah, Allfather Lloyd, we've seen his picture at the doors of the Ornstein and Smough fight. And Anor Londo, and we get the twin blade there. Quite an underwhelming weapon. Thought it was going to be really interesting to use, but it has very low durability as well and wears out very quickly. Gay steel, so it talks about gay steel as well. It does look like an amazing weapon, but and we get the same moveset or similar moveset to the Haid Knight's spear. So we get another soul vessel, so if you want to go and respec your attributes or your stats, you can do that back at the Firekeepers. And I was just kind of searching the room there to see if there was any other hidden walls, but obviously not. And yeah, Wilted Dusk Herb, that's the one I think that restores quite a lot of spell uses. In the next episode we're going to go to... we're just going to finish up the Lost Bastille, I think, and that item that we just passed here is a very important item, so we'll definitely be picking that up. But yeah, Skeptic Spice, which allows you to increase your intelligence, decrease a spell's intelligence requirements by 1. So to get down there you just basically walk off, don't roll off or anything like that. I don't think rolling works. Don't try and jump off, just walk off the edge. And it's a bonfire ascetic, so it's a really useful item because the more bonfire ascetics the better. And unfortunately there's no way, without a specific ring, which is the cat ring that you buy from Shalquar, we wouldn't be able to fall down there safely. So we'll need to Homeward Bone, and that'll be the end of the episode after that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Oh no, wait, I've still to describe this. So, it's devoured by flames, its effects can never be reversed. Very, very useful item, because it gives you access to certain things that you can't get in New Game. Thanks for watching.